Greetings, Guardians. And yeah, just like the title says, Light Help Me, I am playing Iron Banner. Um, what the hell? Okay, here we go. We have. I don't know what it is with the latest. Once upon a long time ago, well, not too long ago, about 15 years ago or so, I used to go out to um, internet magazines, is what I guess you would call them. Places like IGN and all the different little like board game reviewers like Board Game Geek and stuff like that. Board Game Geek actually is not so bad. Their format is actually pretty good, but I've been trying to find some insights and opinions about the new Dark Crystal. Well, not new, but the recent Dark Crystal adventure game, RPG, Adventures in the Age of Resistance. I don't know why they didn't set it after the movie, because there is actually a series of books, some graphic novels, and some novels that are set in the aftermath of the Ursex finally, reforming themselves and then leaving Thrall, leaving behind the Crystal Truth and the Crystal Castle. Um, because as we all know, history is cyclic, and that there's never going to be truly peace or quiet, because in a power vacuum, there's someone going to try to step in and be more special than everybody else. So, so yeah, so I'm trying to get some like insights and stuff, because I went to their website, which is really cool. I don't know why I'm talking about this while I'm doing a video on Iron Banner, but so I went to their website and I downloaded some character sheets, and they had some alternate character sheets for things like the Podlings and the Gartham and the Gothek and several of the other creatures that we saw in Age of the Resistance that predate the movies characters. And you still can't play as Skeksis because they are the big bads. So, you don't play the enemies. It's just like, it wasn't until 5th edition, I think, that you could start playing and actually officially play goblins. Still on the fence about getting Tasha's Cauldron of Everything and Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I have to see which of the two of the books I really need or do I really want, and because mainly the thing is that I don't really have a stable playing group. I actually end up playing D&D 5e against myself. I play the Dungeon Master, and then I use an Oracle to determine if my players will choose to do a certain thing or go a certain way. And yes, to be perfectly fair, on the complication table, there is a murder hobo option for them. There's also a extended snack break option for them, wherein they will take X amount of minutes. And yes, just to maintain the flavor, that's how sad I am. I set a timer, and I don't roll a game or do anything at all until that timer comes due. It's you can think of it like training. Just because I'm not playing uh, social RPGs doesn't mean that I don't plan to eventually. There are some conventions coming up this summer in my area. Plus, there's also shops that are starting to relax their restrictions on gatherings. Magic the Gathering is already in a nice resurgence in the local shops, and so being familiar and being practiced in DMing, even if it is just against a chart or a series of charts, actually, is still better than not doing anything at all. Because it's good to do that. It's shadow boxing, if you will, or it's just obstacle course running on the football field kind of thing. But anyway, so I found a bunch of these characters for different for classes not detailed in the book, and I'm like, well, I don't see. I mean, I know the River Horse RPG system because I played the Labyrinth game, and it's kind of the same thing. There's no real actual skill levels or anything like that. You have points that you put into things in this version, as opposed to the Labyrinth one, where you really just had traits and flaws, and you had equipment. And the ability to do a certain thing in the game was all dependent upon those three elements. If you, say for instance, you wanted to pick a lock, well, if you brought a crowbar with you, but your friend brought, actual picks, uh, you could pick the lock with either one. It's just going to be more difficult to pick the lock quietly with the crowbar if you're trying to be stealthy, whereas the person with the lock picks can actually do it with a little bit of advantage. Think of it like, you want to make yourself a bowl of cereal. Well, you don't have any actual bowls or spoons. So you have plastic sandwich bags. So you could technically Make your bowl of cereal in a cup or a plastic sandwich bag, or you can add milk, or if you don't have milk, you can do water. Done that. It's gross. Orange juice, I did that once on a dare only, and I nearly threw up. Um, and there's actually some YouTubes out there and some TikToks where people put alternate fluids into their bowls of cereal. They did use neutral tasting cereals like Cheerios, but I actually tried to put orange juice into Raisin Brands one time, and oh my, that was just not a good experience. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically the River Horse RPG system. Is that you have these three elements that come into play during the game, and it is a system that totally encourages an optimal four-player count to sit across the table from the game master. So you really don't want to run solos like this. If you run a solo game, running a single player, you're going to want to give them some NPC companions to kind of fill in the gaps, so to speak. Whereas with 5e, everybody's such a superhero. I literally can run my youngest as her halfling thief, rogue. We don't call them thieves in 5e. I can run her halfling rogue through the starter missions, the Lost Mines of Phandalin, Phandelver, and she has just a single companion that he basically does nothing more really than to just kind of prompt some narrative choices if it looks like she's not quite figuring out what she wants to do, just to kind of keep the game going. He'll come up and make a suggestion. And it's always going to be towards the plot line, so it kind of is a little bit of steering, but she always has that choice to go against it. Like, I tried to steer her towards going after the goblin that ran away from their fight, because they're at the very start of the adventure, actually. I have run a couple of side games with side adventures with her to kind of build up her character's backstory, give her some kind of context for who her character is through the choices that she makes in those adventures. So Archides, who is her companion, also a halfling rogue, kind of a bard, really, more or less. But anyway, he suggested going after the goblins, that maybe they have information. And she was like, no, I think we'll just go to Phandalin and, just tell them what we found and organize a party and come back and do that. And so, narratively, that's it. Okay, that's fine. That's totally cool. So, like I said, even though Archides will make suggestions that are towards the main thrust of the story, she is totally within her ability to go ahead and choose her own path. He's, like I said, the companion is really there just as a prompt. Anyway, so talking about River Horse, talking about the Dark Crystal, I'm super excited to sit down and start playing some games. But like I said, I found all these little character sheets, and there's really nothing more to go on other than the fact that the character sheet is pre-filled in with a trait and a particular skill or ability. I was hoping for something a little bit more crunchy. I mean, I don't know, somewhere between this and 5e is kind of where I'd like to hover. I don't like a lot of extra rules. My magic system is completely freeformed. I don't use spell slots. I use a fatigue system, and that's not just in spell work. That's also, if you're doing any kind of combat or adventuring in general, at a certain amount of time, based upon averages collected from around the databases out there. Like, for instance, when I run combats, I have it so that the average trained military person in medieval times could get into about 3 to 5 1v1 battles before needing to actually physically rest and hydrate, because they would collapse afterwards, and that's with or without heavy armor. I mean, in light armor, they might only make it past 2 duels before they get wounded so badly they can't fight. So what I've done is that it's like, okay, well, you can have as many 1v1 fights as 1 plus your actual Constitution modifier. So if if you have a +1 on your con, then obviously after 2 1v1s, you've got to break away from the fight and do a potion or just sit out for a round to recover, or you start making Constitution saves. And if you fail the Constitution save, you take a stunning effect. And I don't have all these extra, like, there's no prone, there's no confused, there's no blah, 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 blah. You either roll with advantage or disadvantage, or not with any advantage or disadvantage at all. There's only these 3 states. It's like a likely thing you can do, or unlikely thing you can do, or just try and do it. So, if you fail your Constitution check, the next round you are rolling everything at disadvantage, because you're getting fatigued, you're getting exhausted. So that's my magic system, is exhaustion and fatigue plays into how many times you can cast your spells, depending on the ability that is used to cast your spells. That also means charisma, because charisma is your force of ego. It's your force of personality. And believe it or not, have you ever seen an actual comedian come off the stage when they're done with their 1 hour special? They are wiped the fuck out. It's not just physically demanding to be up there and doing all that stuff, especially if you're a physical comedian, but it is emotionally demanding to constantly keep the crowd going and keep them up and keep their energy going and stuff. The same goes for people. That's why TED Talks are so short. I've never actually seen a TED Talk go over 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes at the most. I've never seen a TED Talk go beyond 40 minutes. And it's not just because I watch them on YouTube where they have to keep the format short. It's basically that they don't have that kind of they don't have that constitution to keep going physically, but they also don't have the ego to keep going physically, because it is psychologically damaging to them. Whereas wisdom and intelligence kind of operate more on the intellect, on the mental faculty abilities, like, cramming for a test. That's going to be wisdom and intelligence, alternating between the two. You can do an all-nighter cram because you're just sitting in one spot. You got your calorie intakes through food and drink to keep you going in that regards. And that's the other thing too. This is like, if you're in a fight, and you're in a group of people and you're fighting, you fought off this goblin, you fought off that goblin. Now you got to start pushing yourself because the monsters keep coming. So it makes sense to me. But anyway, aside from all that shit, I think honestly what I was doing is I was stalling. To be honest, last couple of times I played Iron Banner, I did not have a good time. But we're gonna see. I have an open mind here. So yeah, on the internet, while I wait for games to load and shit like that, I am trying to find an article to read up about how to creatures, and do we have to play in the Age of Resistance, or is it possible to take this game to the post-movie era, or even the pre-Age of Resistance era? Because like I said, there's a lot of written material out there about all those ages. And because I completely segued, I digress, honestly. So I'm on this site called Tabletop Gaming, and it's a pretty good site. It gets recommended quite a bit to me. But man, did I have to spend all that time I was talking with you guys? I was closing ad windows and making agreements to cookies and shit like that. And it constantly spawns in. I'm like, I don't know what it is in the last 5, maybe 7 years I've noticed this, where it's like you go out to these review sites and it's like the first thing they want to do is spam you with all these ads. And I get it. They got to make their money to keep their business open, which is their website. But, I mean, having a banner in the middle of the text, I'm fine with that. But having this floating banner that does not fucking go away, no matter what you do to it, unless you click on it, then it takes you takes you off page to whatever they're selling. If you go back to the page, that banner's still there. I've actually done that. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just click on it. It takes you off to this sales site. Then I go back to the main tab. Sure enough, the banner's still there. It won't go away until it wants to go away, until its program says it can go away. And I just find that, when I find those kinds of websites, I basically just pull them out. I ignore them. I don't go back to there anymore. And I hate being pushed into purchasing shit. It's just, not cool. That is a cool mask. What the hell? I don't have that. Do I? Who is that? Oh, I'm doing it again. Zipic? I think that's what it is. Man, my frame rates are just shit. Come on, open up. Son of a bitch. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's Twisting Echo Mask. Oh, he's got an ornament on it. That's kind of cool. Is that the... What is this one? Contender Mask. Huh. Well, that's kind of neat. I wonder where you get that from. Let's find out. Destiny 2, Contender Mask Ornament. Okay, let's get into the game before I get myself murdered. Never mind. Well, that's okay. I deserve that. I have a feeling I'm not going to get any bounties done in this match. And I am destroyed with the messenger. Because we need to parody it against a bunch of fucking flawless try. You want to know why the game does this? If you ever wonder, why am I fighting all these people? I don't even play that match mode. It's because they want you to. They want you to play that. See? But then again, he could just be hacking, so who fucking cares? Wow, I stuck. But not as bad as you. Whoever fucking apes this is fucking Hunter. Oh my god, really? Whoa, did he matador me through the barricades? Damn, dude. Wait, that was dredged in at me. Funny. That's funny. It shows him as it shows his thing as red on my. Oh, okay. You know what? If he has dredged in envy, this will make him happy. I'll either die or I'll capture this post. Maybe I should adjust the field of view. I should get credit for that, for being a bandit. Oh my god. Well, we're not getting triple cap. Well, I mean, we're getting triple cap, but we're not being, like, totally annihilated. Yay. I got a bounty done. Now watch me lose it all. Yeah, we're fucked. Oh my god, this already is so scary. Damn it! I did punch. Oh, but you can see my connection's not completely accurate. I mean, solid with him. Yeah, because he's an Xbox player with cross. Right? I don't like cross save. Doesn't matter what they do, they're never going to be able to make it all work. What they should do is just say, hey, you know what? It's PlayStation, play it or not. I mean, come on, people will fucking do multi-platforms. Oh, really? You're gonna die. There you go. You are not Chuck Norris. More like Chuck Roast. I will continue killing you. Because it's fun. And I will... But it's weird, isn't it? That I'm not intending it. It's just happening. That everybody who's knocked me out, I've actually gotten back now. I don't understand that. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's like the game is spawning us deliberately close to each other so that we'll actually have that rivalry. I think that's what it is. They're trying to do this like false narrative rivalry shit or forced rivalry shit. I just don't like that. You know, at least in Gundam Battle Operation 2, it's like, you know, the game's going to tell you, hey, this is your rival because he's got the same thing as you do. You're not paying attention, my friend. No wonder that we shouldn't be losing. We should not lose this. But it's 4 minutes, so it's still anybody's game. And if I kill too much, then everybody else is going to start pushing. I'm not saying that I've picked the pace of the game. I'm just saying that I've noticed that the competitiveness of this freaking game is such that even my own teammates will fucking start versusing me because I've been at the bottom of the board all this time. But if I start climbing up that board, someone's going to get their ego crushed. And they're going to need to fucking react. It's just so silly. It's just a game. I cannot seem to... Okay, I am not liking Gnawing Hunger anymore. As a 600 is just not doing it for me. Let's try this asshole out. I'm not a big fan of the Future War Cult weapons anymore. It's like they deliberately did what they did with Lakshmi to kind of like justify the fact that no one wants to play them. Nah, fuckers. See? Forced rivalry. He's probably thinking to himself, hey, that guy just killed me a few seconds ago. And again, you know, they're creeping up. How are we going to answer this? We got to get to the fucking max score, which is like 150, I think. Oh, fuck. Corner glitcher. Son of a bitch, really? Fuck it. I'll just wait out the clock. I don't need to do anything. I'm definitely not a slayer. Four more to go. Unless something really wacky happens, you know, like I get DOSed out of the game. It's supposed to break the line of fire. But I guess it doesn't matter, huh? Why are we still fighting? The game's over. Wow, that's gotta really frustrate you. That has gotta frustrate you so bad. That's like premature ejaculation with the hot chick you've been working all fucking year long to go out with on the prom. That's so sad. Oh god, I feel bad for you, man. Anyway, okay, so where do we get this contender mask? Oh god, it's another one of us past all this bullshit. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything. Valor overflowing. Go fuck yourselves. Oh my god. Fuck this speed bumps in the game. Alright, source. Come on, bitches. Haven't given me a decent piece of ammo. Oh, maybe that's why everyone was killing me because I put that stupid totem on. Ooh, now hold on a second here. Under Pressure and Demolitionist. With extended magazine. It doesn't do anything. Arrowhead break is nice, and that stability thing. Yeah, maybe we be in friends. Maybe we'll try it out. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take this stupid title off, because I was just doing it to be a trolly little fuck. I don't give a fuck about titles. Least of all, building this shit. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you anymore with my shit. It's like, wow. I'm going to go keep playing some IB until such time as I get completely frustrated with the matching. And you go do something fun today.